Hello and welcome to Dan Talks United. Yes, we've got to win. Back on track. I was losing faith in you, Carrick. I'm still not sure about it, if I'm honest, but it's good to get a win. I'm not going to start on a negative. It's got to be positive. I predicted it was going to be 2-2. I was expecting a draw, especially at Stamford Bridge. But to get the win, and I mean, Chelsea, we'll get into it, but they are terrible, Chelsea. Garnacho, it was nice to see how crappy he was as well. But we will get into things. We'll just go through the game, just a bit of a reaction for people. Put your comments in as well, whoever's watching. But I've got a guest here. Dash is back on, was on to the build-up show. A few technical issues earlier. Hopefully everything's all right now. Over to you, Dash. How's you first, and then we'll get into the game.
Very nervous at the end, but if I have to be a little bit cocky, I would say it was I felt like Chelsea wasn't going to do anything, even though I was nervous. But it felt like no matter how many opportunities they got and how many chances they created, they just wasn't going to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what it felt like, after the game. But during the game, I was very, very nervous because of they were hitting the crossbar multiple times as well, too, and they were very threatening. I thought they played more football than we did,
Yeah.
It was more of a defensive work. Yes.
Yeah, I think I was saying earlier in the group chat that it felt like the crossbar was the best defense for us at times. Yeah. But yes, we got away with things here and there. As I was saying earlier, Chelsea aren't great, but we did get away with things here and there where it hit the crossbar. I think it was twice they hit the crossbar. Yeah. So again, to get the win is fantastic. Do you think, before we get into the actual game itself, how are you feeling? I think you were confident anyway, but how are you feeling about getting that Champions League spot now? I'm just going to check, actually. I think we're 10 points clear of Chelsea, I think, now. But how are you feeling about that Champions League spot?
I don't want to be too excited just yet, right? I just feel like once we get to the week of Liverpool, after we play Liverpool, however that game goes, then I can definitely solidify whether we have Champions League football or not. But I'm not going to be too happy, but I know it's a very good 70% that we will get it.
Yeah. And I think I shared something earlier that said that our chances of third spot are dropped, and I suppose finishing the Champions League places would have dropped slightly as well. But obviously this puts us hopefully back where we should be. Obviously we've got to see what like Villa do, for example, and Liverpool do in their next games. But all we can do, Dash, is win our games. That's all we can do. And if we win our games, we'll ensure that we finish in those Champions League spots. Definitely. Yes. So I'm just looking at this now really quickly, just looking at the table. And so Chelsea stay on 48 points. And then we're on 58 points. So so that's a 10-point cushion ahead of Chelsea, who are in 6th. And then obviously Liverpool are still to play yet, and they're on 52 points, so that's 6 points behind. And then Aston Villa are the 3 points behind, but they're still to play yet as well. So it's given us a little bit, it's given us a good cushion ahead of Chelsea, who would be at the moment the team to drag us out of that top 5. But we've got that 10-point cushion, so hopefully that's going to help us now to get that Champions League spot. So, like I say, we just need to see what the other teams do just to make us feel a bit more comfortable, because obviously, as you said there, in this game, you're right, I sort of felt how you did, where watching the game, it felt like Chelsea was sort of, I don't know, they were toothless. They weren't really doing much. They were being on the attack here and there, but they weren't really cutting us open per se. There wasn't really fashioning any chances. Delap, who were linked to us, I'm so glad we didn't buy Delap. I mean, I know Sesko's not been playing brilliantly recently, but Delap is awful, absolutely awful. He makes a nuisance of himself, but he's absolutely awful. But we were sort of saying as well that we needed to have a good start. How did you think we started the game? It felt better than Leeds. How did you feel about it?
So I liked it better than what we did against Leeds, for sure. I kind of understood the game plan. Like this is exactly what I was expecting from Manchester United. I wasn't expecting them to go full throttle and try to challenge Chelsea and go and make it more of end-to-end game, just because we don't have that defensive stability. And that's exactly what I wanted. I think, stay back. When you get your chances, you put the ball in the back of the net, and that's exactly what we did. And I applaud him for the game plan.
Yeah, and what did you make of Cunha's finish? Because it was really. I will sort of break a few things down. I don't want to get too much bogged down into going get minute by minute, but I thought it was a lovely play on the right hand side. I think it was between Mbeumo and Bruno.
Yes.
And then Bruno sort of broke down the right-hand side. I think it was Ganacha of all people trying to defend against Bruno, because Fofana had sort of gone off for a bit of treatment, so they were down to 10 men. And then Bruno just cuts the ball back, lovely cut back. And I always say, for those kids that watch, it's that sort of FC 26 FIFA sort of PlayStation game type of a pass back, and Cunha nicely slots it in, because to be fair, it wasn't the best pass in the end because it was bouncing quite a bit, but Cunha sort of got over it and slotted it in nicely. How did you find? Did you like the goal?
No, the finish was brilliant. You know, it was a very good finish. The play by Bruno Fernandes, of course, this is why he is Magnifico. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but
Magnifico.
That's why he is the person that he is. But just like you said, I mean, it's not like a wild play, like, oh my God, look at what, it's not that type of play, but it's more of a clinical play from both parties, from Bruno Fernandes and from Matheus Cunha. And I think I got to give Sesko a little bit of props, because in our box, he was kind of holding, the defender kind of had to like engage with him. So he allowed the ball to go across Cunha. But I gotta say, before that, I think it was a couple of minutes before, Matheus Cunha had a huge chance from Brian Mbeumo that really he should have shoot and put the ball on target, but he had a very heavy touch. I felt like that was going to be in the back of the net, or maybe challenge the goalkeeper. But I'm glad that he got his goal, and
and again, I weren't sure it was going to happen like you're saying there, because I thought Cunha did okay. It would just, again, I think the whole team, especially sort of like the front three, front four, as they got into the final third, they were finding it difficult to really create anything. And I think our passing was a little bit off as well. But again, I know what I am planning on doing is getting on to who we felt played well, and then finally we'll also pick who we think our man of the matches are. So obviously I'll ask you who your man of the match is, and obviously I'll say mine, but we'll leave that towards the end. But I thought Meno played pretty well today. I think it was a massive difference between him and Agate against Leeds. I know the whole team was crap against Leeds, but I felt that Meno, I'm not saying he was fantastic, but or dictate the game or the play, but I thought he was calm, as he always is. And I think that calming sort of play and influence kind of spreads across the team at times. And I think Casemiro definitely welcomed him back. How did you, without going too far into things, how did you find Meno's performance today, Dash?
So typical English, man, to talk about. Yeah, I love you. But no. I thought, of course he had a good game. It's crazy how, you don't know what you got until you lose what you got. Because, to be honest with you, not that I'm not a huge Menu fan. I wasn't so much, like, oh, Menu got to play football. He got, like I say, I didn't really care much about that. But, now that when you see Ugarte on the field and you see how much basic football can be difficult for some people, you tend to cherish people like Menu a lot. I'm okay with him not scoring.
This is kind of my point,
Yeah, I'm okay with him not scoring goals. I'm okay with him not even giving assists. There will come a time where he will need to do those, or where he will do those, but I don't think he's the type of player where you will, the minute I have to go make. No, you don't. What's the goal? We have what's his name? We have number 8, our wonderful Bruno Fernandes for that.
Bruno, you can't forget Bruno.
We have Bruno. We have Brunos to do that, so we don't need Menu to go ahead and make those line. Bro, just do the basic. Let's get a Champions League football.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm just going to look at a couple of chats. I've got that one on screen from SJG there. just sitting there smug with the predictions. So SJG's been in a few streams earlier and predicted a win. So obviously very smug, as we call that in the UK, just basically saying that he or she is feeling, yes, this is my prediction. And you guys probably went with a loss or a draw. So person,
I was going with a draw or loss, to be honest.
Exactly. So this person gets the plaudits there, and is right or die. SJG is always in the comments, always watching all of the live.
I'll give you a huge shout out for sure, bro.
Exactly. And thanks for the support. And we've got Stevie Boy Richards here. So I do know Stevie Boy Richards. Let's see what you've got to say. Stop being negative. Champions League is more or less guaranteed. It's United's hands to lose the spot. Just imagine being Wolves fan. Yes, so Steve is a Wolves fan, Wolverhampton Wanderers fan. And unfortunately for Steve, unfortunately for us, we got Cunha off you. But unfortunately for yourself, it looks like you're going down. Nice little fight after one bit.
Yeah.
Say it again.
We need to get a couple more players from them. We need that young player. We need Gomez from you. So come on, Steve. Make it easy for us, please. You can come and support us now. You're welcome to the team.
Yeah. Come across, Steve.
Come on, man.
Get yourself converted. So we were talking earlier, Dash, about teams that you support and what have you. And this is a case with Steve where he's from the area, Wolverhampton sort of area. So he's actually supporting his local team. So that's I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but in a sense, in football terms, you would say that's the right thing to do to support your local team. So plaudits to Steve, sticking out with Wolves. I'm sure Wolves will come back up. They're a decent team. They've played some good football.
We
just need a few more players off you.
Let me butter him up a little bit. So, Steve, when
you
had Nuno Espirito Santos as your manager, I thought that was like one of the best era of, Wolves football. Because, they always give us a hard time every single time that we want to play, especially at that stadium. So, to see Wolves in the current position that they're in is, it's kind of sad to see, right? Because the type of pedigree that they have, especially when they're playing good football. How Mother New can be. I hope I'm pronouncing this stadium right, how they can be rocking, how excited they can be. Yeah, I'm so sorry that you're going through what you're going through. But, but you'll be back. You gotta fall to rise. That's all.
So this is the thing as well. I think sometimes, obviously, I don't know how you feel, Dash, but obviously I'm trying to think of the word, but I haven't felt great in the last few years with Manchester United in terms of the fact that we're not anywhere near where we used to be. Right. Yes, we've won the odd cup here and there, an FA Cup, Carabao Cup, you name it. But we're just not where we should be or where I think we should be. And I think Steve here in the comments puts it back into perspective, and he's sort of saying, stop being so negative, cheer up, guys. You're third, you're going to get Champions League. Try and be a Wolves fan, because Wolves are going down. So it's like, you guys can't moan. You can't be miserable when you support Manchester United, is what he's trying to say there. So I get your point, but there's standards as well, Steve.
It's a little bit different.
What Manchester United used to be. You know what Manchester United used to be. And we want the glory days to come again. We've got songs saying it.
It feels like the current position, especially last year when we were 15, it felt like we were relegated at 15. Right, that's how we felt. How you feeling right now, Steve? That's how we felt last year. So we understand what you're going through. That's why I was kind of give you a little bit more, something to lean on a little bit. That's all. I understand, Steve.
But thanks for the comments, Steve. Keep them coming as well. But I think you were saying earlier, though, Dash, about trying to convert Steve on the sly. He probably isn't. Obviously, he's not a Manchester United fan, but he's still a Cunha fan. So it's bridging the gap a little bit. So he still likes to see Cunha score. So I know if Steve is still watching, you're a little bit of a Manchester United fan. A little bit. Just a tiny bit.
It's okay. Okay. You're always welcome with open arms.
Definitely. We will welcome more fans. Definitely. So just to sort of touch on a few more sort of key bits and pieces in the game as well. Another thing as well is we were nervous. I know we didn't get a chance to properly discuss this earlier before the match because connection issues and what have you, but we sort of touched on the defensive back line. We didn't know what the combination was going to be. It could have been a toss-up between a lot of things, but in the end, he kept Shaw where he normally plays at left back, kept Dallow at right back, which in the end was the right decision, because I think when you've got a disrupted back forward, you want to keep disrupting the ones that are already playing. And I think when you think about it, and that's why people like Carrick is a coach and not us as fans. But anyway, he's decided to bring Mazraoui in, and he played centre back with Heaven. What's your thoughts on those two's performance in the centre back roles today? Because end of the day, it was deep end stuff because our back line wasn't great with all either the injuries or the red cards that we've been getting recently. But how did you rate our sort of centre back performance?
So, throughout the week, I was on almost every TikTok live telling people that we needed to at least try to do 3 in the back just because of the
we were said the same,
that we were that we're in. So I was hoping 3 in the back, but when I saw the lineup, I was like, okay, I mean Mazraoui did it before, so let's see how it's gonna go. And during the game, you can see Mazraoui wasn't really the problem, right? I thought Aiden Heaven was a little bit shaky because he had he had a good game, don't get me wrong, but he had a couple of shaky plays where he had a play on what's his name? Oh my Lord!
Oh, Heaven!
He had a play on one of the Chelsea player, number 10, Cole Palmer.
Right. Cole Palmer.
He had two plays on him that could have led to something dangerous. And but I mean, I thought overall he had a good game. I didn't expect a clean sheet at all.
No, that surprised me.
That's icing on top of the cake. You know how when you're about to do laundry and you're looking all your pants pockets to see if there is any paper there, but then you look in your pants pocket and you see $100. This is what it feels like, right? To go out and get a clean sheet when you don't even expect to get a clean sheet. But he played well today. I really liked his performance. But I think he need to be given more chances over Lenny Euro, to be honest with you. But that's a conversation for another day.
No, of course it is. And just to touch on that, because like you've just said there, it's a conversation for another day. But I haven't been a big fan of Heaven particularly. But if I'm honest, looking back at some of the performances, he hasn't been too bad. And today, I mean, again, there's been certain tricky moments today, but again, he hasn't been playing, so you've got to forgive him for that. But I think overall, he played pretty well. And as SJG saying here, so Heaven played well today, and we are inclined to agree with you, and especially under the situation or the circumstances where he's got to come in and almost again save the day because we've got this red card crisis and a bit of injury stuff going on because we don't know where De Ligt's gone. He's just gone missing in action. He's gone AWOL. We just don't know where he is.
Let me ask you a question. So underneath Ruben Amorim, you didn't like Aiden Heaven?
I think I should tell you what the truth is. I think I struggle to not give him a chance because I try and give any player a chance that comes to Manchester United. I think what it was is I can't take out my mind when Rasmus Højlund absolutely done him over. We played against Arsenal in the pre-season.
That's why I remember him.
And Rasmus Højlund absolutely struck, like took the mick out of him basically. Done him for pace. I know. So I've sort of struggled with that a little bit, but it's not so much that I didn't rate him. It's more that I just wanted to see a little bit more. I couldn't really see what our recruitment team saw, if I'm honest. But I thought we were too obsessed with getting players from Arsenal that are young and like Obi that's back in the youth squad and stuff like that. And I don't know.
When you pay $1 million for a player and he does
this, of course.
This is going above and beyond. This now from $1 million, I can comfortably say that he's a $20 million player or pound player.
I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah.
That's a huge amount of profit that you just got out of that. So you have to take into consideration of how much he costs. He wasn't brought in to be a starter to play any type of games, right? He brought in to be more of an understudy. And then look how far he just progressed and what he's doing. So you have to give him a little bit of credit from that perspective.
Yeah. No, and I agree with that. I think like I say, it was just a bit of a struggle because I think sometimes when you've got a feeling about something, it's hard to shirk it. It's hard to, you've got to convince me otherwise. But I think today I was quite happy with his performance today. So I've got to hand it to him. And I'm not going to say I'm wrong because it's only one game, but I think there was a little bits under Amarin where I thought he wasn't too bad, to be honest with you. I think, like with anybody, though, he just needs time, needs rhythm. And if you keep taking him out and putting him back in, taking him out, putting him back in, it can be a bit of a struggle. I did wonder, like Yoro, if he needed a loan maybe for a season somewhere else and then come back in. But I don't know. We'll have to see out. But we can't afford to do that at the moment anyway because we've got no defenders. So, like I say, I'm just going to go over a few little bits and pieces what I sort of saw in the game, to be honest. Again, the first half wasn't too bad. I thought the rhythm was all right. I think the only thing I'd say is across the piece, I thought the passing was a little bit off here and there. But I thought our approach was much better than it was against Leeds. I mean, it's hard not to be better than the performance against Leeds because that performance, for me anyway, I felt that was the worst performance I've seen Manchester United put out for a very, very long time. And I don't even think we've performed that badly under Amarim. And probably not that badly under Solskjaer, probably. It just felt horrendous, especially when we're playing against such a team like Leeds that is like a rival and what have you in the past. So it just felt awful. One thing that I felt that we might have been a little bit a touch of luck was Estevao. I don't know how you felt about Estevao on Chelsea's side, but I thought he was starting to cause an issue and then he went off injured. So I thought that was a little bit of luck for us. I mean, I don't know. How did you feel about his performance? It's not a Chelsea show, but just quickly just to think about Estevao, what did you see the same as me or did you just think he weren't going to do anything anyway? Are you still there?
Yeah. Personally, I do like. Yeah, I'm still. Yeah. Personally, I still do like him as a player. I like him. I like what he brings to football as well too. But yeah, it's just like you say, he was getting into his groove, and then what happened happened. And thank God. And then because when Garnacho came on the field,
Garnacho came on.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because I mean, I know because I've watched Garnacho play for us, and I watched Garnacho play for Chelsea, so I know exactly what he was going to offer. I mean, I didn't think Garnacho had a terrible game, but thank God that he didn't produce anything. But
yeah. So I was a bit worried that Garnacho might have come back to haunt us a little bit. A little bit until he started playing, and I thought, oh well, that's just the Garnacho that
he had really. A couple of good. I said one run out of the whole game that was like, oh yeah, okay, that's threatening. But besides from that, I don't know what's going on with Garnacho. He lacks confidence. So I think
yeah, and I think his confidence has really gone down. I think it got ruined at Manchester United. We've managed to sell him somehow, and it's just continued at Chelsea. And I think the Chelsea fans don't like him. They're not really having him. I don't think they really rate him. I don't think they know why Chelsea bought him, to be honest with you. But all I see it as, we bought Mount, and he's not been that great for us. So then we've got our own back and giving you Garnacho. So it's fair for me. I think we can just call it even. So going a bit further into the game, there was a nice bit of play as well from Bruno. So he sort of went quite deep. This is still first half, around 24 minutes, and sort of sprayed a pass forward. And again, it was sort of looking for that ball in behind. But it was good, and Burmo took it wide. And then he went for the pass to Cunha. And that's the one that you mentioned earlier when Cunha sort of... his control wasn't very good. He ended up getting a yellow card from that. And I mean, I was a little bit worried that Cunha could have got sent off because he was doing the little bits where he's just nicking a player's ankle, for example. And Michael Oliver, I don't know your experience of Michael Oliver, but I just don't think he likes Manchester United, that referee. So I'm just a little bit worried that he might have got sent off. Well, there's an argument to say every ref hates us anyway.
Personally, I feel like, my fault. I feel like every referee do not like Manchester United.
And again, there was a few sort of chances from Chelsea. I think there was one where Enzo sort of got the ball in the area and sort of turned and swiveled and shot. But I felt that Le Mans had it covered, but it was a decently hit shot, it just went wide anyway. So there was a lot of sort of like to and fro in, I felt, between ourselves and Chelsea. We didn't really carve them open or carve open a particular chance. I think maybe Chelsea probably had the better of it at times, but it was pretty even in that first half, to be honest with you. And like you said earlier, I was on edge. Don't get me wrong, I was on edge, and I think I was on edge because of that Leeds game. But when I'm watching it, and Chelsea are going forward, I did feel quite comfortable that, again, Heaven was defending pretty well. He was doing some last-ditch sort of tackles or blocks and what have you. Especially in the second half, there was a lot of blocks from Heaven. And to be fair, Casemiro was dropping back into defence here and there as well at times and heading the ball out or making blocks. So we were quite comfortable, I felt, at times in terms of not conceding. Again, we can always play better. I don't know how you felt, but I felt that our passing wasn't great, especially from the back. I don't know how you felt about the sort of general play of us, especially the passing. What was your thoughts?
I agree with you, man. I feel like, you know, if the passing was a little bit better, then we probably would have had more than one goal, you know, especially when it came to that final third. Just like I said, maybe it wasn't a pass, maybe it was just a touch in that final third that, you know, that just didn't give us. I didn't help us out at all. But you know, when you have Bruno Fernandes in your team, you have nothing to worry about. But you're right, the passing was horrendous, you know. But I mean, I don't. That's what that was, bro. That's why.
and it's nice to see that.
That's why I was very nervous. That's why I was nervous.
Yeah. And it's and you mentioned Bruno there as well. It's just nice to see that he gets another assist and it puts him on. I think it's 18 now, so he's chasing down that record. Henry and De Bruyne have got the record assist for a season, which is 20 at the moment. So he's just 2 off. Before we move on, do you think Bruno's going to get that assist record now that he's only sort of 2 assists off, like equaling it?
I want him to get it. I want him to beat the record. I don't want him to equal it, because you equal the record, then then you just add to the list. But I think you know, when you break the record, then it puts you above and beyond over everybody else, right? So he can finally get that type of recognition that KDB gets when it comes to the league. Is it. So because that's what it is.
I agree with that.
And one thing that I know about Bruno Fernandes, he's not going to rush anything. He's not going to force unnecessary things. So therefore, that's the most important thing. But you have 5 games left in the season. You can get, 1 assist in each of those games, and then you can shatter the record. But, I think you can get it. And, of course, I believe each and every one of Manchester United supporters want him to get it. So not even Manchester United supporters. I think some people want him to get it just because, they see how great he is. And, I think he's deserving of it.
Yeah, and it's just a shame, and I think we said it before, and we won't go too deep into it, but it's just a shame that it does feel like there's, even in our own fan base, there's a lot of fans that don't particularly like Bruno, and he gets a lot of critics. I know he gets some critics outside. I never understood that, but like you've said there, I agree with you. Hopefully, he doesn't just equal it; he surpasses it, and then he's got some form of accolade. I know it's not a title or a Champions League, I get that, but at least it's a personal accolade that he can have, and it puts his name in lights for the Premier League, and I think he deserves that. I think what will happen though is if he equals it and stays equal, people will say it's not as good as Henry, because Henry got 20 assists from outfield play. None of them were from set pieces. So people will use that against Bruno, use it as a stick to beat Bruno with. So Bruno, for me, that's why I hope he surpasses that stat, because even if people say, oh, well, a lot of those weren't from open play, we can still say he's beat the record, and that's the main thing. So hopefully he does do that. Just going to look at a couple of chats that I may have missed there. So from the Football Brotherhood, so I'm guessing that's Alex. Yes, boys, what a win. Garnacho, Delap and Neto is a bad front 3. And you are right on that, because you know what that reminds me of, although Garnacho's one of our old front 3, is when we had stuff like, I don't know, Sancho and Rashford and Garnacho was there as well, and the fidget spinner as well. Anthony, the fidget spinner. So I feel for Chelsea in that sense. Well, I don't feel for them in a deep sense because they've spent a lot of money and this is what they've created. But I get their pain as a Chelsea fan. I get your pain because I know what it's like to have an ineffective front three who think there's something. So Garnacho thinks he's something. Delap was cocky enough to say, you guys, Manchester United, are not in the Champions League, so I'm going to Chelsea. Fair play to you. But where's that got you? Neto, I liked Neto, actually. He was at Wolves, wasn't he? I don't know if Steve's still in the house. I did actually want Neto, but I think I don't know if he's a bit injury prone. But anyway, so that's their front three. And our front three, when it's firing, so if you've got I suppose, Sesko when he was coming on, I suppose, but and Burma and Cunha in particular, Ahmad, I wouldn't swap ours for theirs, definitely not. And obviously today, one of our front three has scored, whereas Chelsea, they just didn't look like scoring. Delap never looked like scoring. Garnacho never looked like scoring. Neto was doing little bits and pieces, but not really doing much. What do you think about their front three, Dash? I think it's probably self-explanatory.
I mean, I think Delap did his best to try to be as physical as he could be.
He was a nuisance. He was a nuisance.
Yes. That's what you really kind of want. If you
I actually want Sesko to do. I mean, if Sesko's not going to score, I want Sesko to do what Delap did today.
I want him to be like that because you already have the height and you have the size. When you do that, defenders will be afraid to even approach you. And I feel like Sesko need to put that in his game, right? As a striker, you need to be a bully out there. Diego Costa, for example. Right, Luis Suarez, for example, you need to be there, especially when you're playing for Manchester United. But I think I like that energy from Delap. Of course, he didn't get no goal, which is great. Neto, I think he had a couple of crosses into the box, that could have done something. He and Madagusto on that side was pretty good. It was, they looked like they could be threatening. Madagusto put some great crosses in that could have been a goal. They hit the post a couple of times, but then that's it. But then Garnacho on the other side, just like I said before, he had a couple of probably one run that could have been very threatening, but besides that,
maybe one.
It wasn't really anything interesting at all. But I didn't see no threat from them. I thought Cole Palmer would have been the one to do something, but he looked like he don't even. He's not.
He looked. He doesn't. Yeah, you're right. You're right with that actually, because he didn't look like he enjoys his football at the moment. It's very strange performance from Cole Palmer today. It felt like when he got the first free kick in I think it was first half. It's like that's what he was looking for. It's almost like he thought, I've been in training this week, and from when he got like sort of just outside the box in that sort of D area.
Right.
He may have like scored in training a few times and thought, I just want to get a free kick from here and I might score. And it was just a very odd approach for me, very odd approach. And I was worried about him before the start of the game, especially playing in that sort of 10 role because he can sort of roam a little bit and he can be effective in that position.
Was saying, Chelsea fans was like, Cole Palmer, you don't have no defense. We have Cole Palmer, we have Neto, we have Delap. Like that's the conversation that they were having. Just like you said, on the free kicks that he had, the way that he even shoot that free kick, I was like, bro, do you even want to shoot this ball? It wasn't
very. It's just odd.
Oh, it wasn't convincing at all. So that's that.
And this is the thing, and I'm sort of, I've not seen it myself, but I was listening to it. It might have been the United stand, but apparently Cole Palmer had said something about we squashed that sort of rumor that there's a chance he could come to Manchester United because he's basically saying that he's got family in Manchester, but when he comes up to see him, he doesn't miss Manchester. He's got no interest in sort of moving back to Manchester, and he's happy. Down south, was saying early London. So when you look at the performance tonight, and I know I can't just judge a player for just one game or one performance, but do we really want Cole Palmer to come in and try and replace Bruno Fernandes? Not for me. Not on that showing anyway. So I'm quite happy for him to stay where he is and that we actually go out and scout properly to get Bruno's replacement in the future. Would you want Palmer at Manchester United? I know he's saying he's staying anyway, but would you have wanted him?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay. Fair
Yes,
enough.
yes. No, I mean, just like we can have a conversation about Carlos Baleba in the future, but just like Carlos Baleba, I think
Yes. Yeah.
he's going to be a type of player that's going to be exciting. And Cole Palmer, he's a very young player that come to Manchester United and make your future bright and play better football, right? So yeah, I would definitely take him at Manchester United. Now to say that he can be Bruno Fernandes' replacement, no, because he has a little bit of injury problems that I don't agree with. But the only reason, and one of the reasons why I would say maybe no is how expensive he's going to be.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that would be like anything that would be something that would say, nah, I don't want him if he could cost over 150 or over 120, right? I wouldn't want that. But I definitely would love to have Cole Palmer in my team. And I know he will want to come to Manchester, but you're not just coming back to the city. You're coming to play football. You're not coming to yes, you got your family, I get that, but bro, come on now.
No, I get that. And that's why football's all about opinions. That's why it's good to have people on to have a chat about things as well and give different perspectives. And obviously I'm not convinced by him. I'm not going to act like I never wanted him, because of course I did, because there was times when he just looked unplayable. And I think if he can recover that sort of form and that sort of ability, then he's got to be in there with a shout. And I rated him higher than like a Morgan Rogers maybe, then it sort of changes dependent on who's on form and stuff. So I get all that. But I get your point. And obviously it's not to say nobody's opinions are wrong. Everybody's got opinions. That's the whole point. And I can see where you're coming from with Palmer. But right now, all I can think is today's game, who made the difference? Bruno Fernandes. And we just need somebody that can do that in the future.
So right now, right? So because Cole Palmer is not having a good season, right? If right now, if Chelsea saying, "Oh, look, Manchester United, you can give us 60 million, and we can give you Palmer," would you take that deal?
Yeah. Now you sort of, you're changing, as we say, moving the goalposts a little bit. But yeah, I see your point. I'd have to definitely think about it, because again, if it's one of those where Bruno was definitely going, and we said, right, you could get Palmer for 60 million, who's going to be Bruno's replacement. You've got to consider it. You've got to consider it, because it's going to be very expensive to replace Bruno. So to get a really good number 10 that can create, that can dictate, that can have the volume of goals and assists, you've got to pay a lot of money for that. So if you could get Palmer for 60, you've got to give it a try, if it's for that price, but I don't think it'd ever be that price. So, but yeah, I get your point.
Here's a hot take for you, right? So when we had Ana Herrera and he left, we never found his replacement. We had Paul Pogba and he left, we never found his replacement. Now that we have Bruno Fernandes, it's gonna take time for us to find his replacement.
Oh, of course it is. No, I agree with you.
Or we might get like another Ana Herrera, and we don't have Bruno Fernandes, and we don't have a Paul Pogba type player. So therefore, and I feel like that's really been the problem with Manchester United. We really never, especially when it comes to that midfield positions, right? We never really had that continuity of that set midfielders duo that can dominate the Premier League, or even dominate for us as well too. I think that's the problem. That's why this summer is very, very pivotal for us, right? So I agree.
It's very important to get that summer right. I'm just going to catch up on a few chats that we've got here. So again, Alex, Dan, is Heaven a better prospect than Yoro? You know what? And obviously you're asking that question because you know that I've got a bit of a soft spot for Yoro. Good question, that, Alex. You've thrown me there a little bit, because I think they're very similar. And they actually sort of look a bit similar when they play, in my opinion. But obviously one's left foot, one's right foot, but they're very similar, probably a similar age as well. I'd probably say overall, from what I've seen from start to finish of their careers at Manchester United, I would probably say, as it stands, Heaven edges it for me, as it stands. And again, I think Yoro's probably had more of a chance, because Dash has said this himself in terms of the cost of Heaven being £1 million and Yoro being about 60 or something. I think we always think it's probably a myth, but there will be something where if you pay for a player of that sort of amount, so 50, 60, 70, 80, you name it, there's going to be something where the board, for example, or maybe even the contract that you've got to play him. And I think Euro does get played quite a lot. And Heaven has not had the same chances, especially under Carrick. So is a little bit behind in terms of, I won't say development, because I think there's still both not being developed, but in terms of playing time is a little bit behind, I think. So looking at both performances, as I was saying there, I would probably say Heaven's got a bit more. Just quickly on that, Dash, because there's a few things to talk about before we wrap up, and obviously conscious of the time. What's your thoughts on that question from Alex there in terms of, is Heaven a better prospect than Euro? Would you agree with that?
It's a little bit hard to say.
It is, yeah.
Right. I do like Heaven, but I do like Euro speed as well too. So I think Euro needs a little bit of Heaven calmness, and I think Heaven needs a little bit of Euro speed as well too. But then if we were talking about price tag, since Euro is 50 mil and Heaven is just 1 mil, I would say I would lean more to Heaven, even though I don't want to pick a side. But to be honest with you, then I would have to lean more to Heaven. Everything that he's done so far. I don't think he's had a terrible game at Manchester United just yet, but I know Lenny Euro had a couple of terrible games so far. So
he's had some clangers. Yeah, and obviously I'm not the type of person to keep saying someone's fantastic if it's obvious in front of your face that it's not going great. So Euro, I still feel that there's hope, but at the minute hasn't been great. So I'll just catch up on a few more chats there then. So where was it now? I lost that. Where's it gone? There we are. So another one there. You're so right. The Chelsea front three does remind me of ours. Garnacho, yeah, exactly as I was saying earlier. That their front three right now, I'd be if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be very frustrated with that front three. And I know what we were like when we used to see Anthony just spinning on the ball and then he'd kick it out, or he'd do something stupid, or he'd want to be on his left foot all the time, and you think, just cross it with your right or just shoot with your right, and he just can't. So very frustrating. Garnacho would just, like, as we say here, run into blind alleys.
Like
Garnacho would do that a lot. And then I think Højlund, I had hope for Højlund, but again, young, will lack consistency because of his youth, but I don't know. It wasn't great at times. I did think, though, when that sort of famous picture when they can't remember who scored, but they ended up sitting on the hoardings, and I thought that could be something. That could be something. And then
it was a false hope that was sold to us. But
yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. And what's Espio saying? Oh, Espio's back in the chat. What's he saying here? He'll be so Espio is a Man City fan, so he'll be bigging up Man City, I'm sure. Man City 3, Arsenal 1. When Manchester City wins by dominance, Manchester United wins by luck. Even new promoted Leeds United beat Man United at Old Trafford. Do you feel the difference? So yeah, I mean, Espio, obviously, I'm not sensitive. I do not mind banter, and I welcome it. And I welcome you, Espio. I see your point, because nothing you've said there particularly is wrong, because we've probably won a little bit by luck to a certain extent today, and we haven't controlled the game. I'd love to see us start to control games and just really lock that midfield down and pass and move and control the ball and have possession and stuff. But right now, we're not there, but we're third. We're third still, looking to get that Champions League spot. Hopefully for you, Man City fans, you'll get Arsenal bottle in the league and you'll get that title. You coming in there, Dash?
Yeah, and I feel like you're being a little bit too passive. I don't care for that. Hey, look, let's keep it honest with you, SP or whatever. No, this is what it is, and this is what it's not, right? You have 115 hanging over your head. Let's just keep that in mind, right? All that trophies that you've been winning, we're gonna collect every single thing, and then we're gonna distribute it to everybody else that deserve it. All that talk that you're talking. Congratulations. We all want you to beat Arsenal. So that's why you're coming here on live thinking that you can go ahead and talk about Manchester United all you want. This is what it is and this is what it's not. Take your little take the win this year because we all want to give it to you. Accept it and close your mouth. Okay? You're not irrelevant. Even the Arsenal that you're chasing, you're not even better than Arsenal. You're not bigger than Arsenal. This is Manchester United you're talking about. So the next time you come on a platform that is a Manchester United platform, you better come correct, my boy. You got 115 hanging over your head. Keep that in mind.
And you've been told there, SBO, and puffed out your chest there, Dash. I respect that. And SBO put in your place there. Do you want to come back? Do you want to come back, SBO? You're welcome to come back if you can try.
We should talk about that 115 when he come back next time.
Yeah. It's taken a long time, isn't it, to look at that as well. And David speaks football here. Bruno Fernandes is unbelievable. Best player in the league. Believe me when I told you months ago, a club legend. He must get this assist record. He deserves it. And yes, we've been talking about that, David, as you know. And I agree in the main there. And I only can hope that he gets it. And obviously, he needs that support from the team to get it, because I felt today at times that he was really digging in, really trying to create things, really trying to get things moving. And he was just a little bit let down here and there by his colleagues to a certain extent. But obviously, Cunha did come up with the goods today, which you've got to respect, obviously. But there's enough games for him to do it. So hopefully he does do it and he gets the accolades. Let's see if we catch up with everything. What we've got here. Yoro does not get back in the team ahead of Heaven. Yoro is shocking. Yeah, and again, I think I'm starting to go that way myself, in the sense that Heaven, I really respect Heaven today. I think he got us out of a hole. I think there was one or two things where he thought, it was a little bit rash. I can't remember who he slid on now, where it seemed a bit rash. But other than that, I think he had a solid performance at centre-back, considering, as I was saying earlier, that he probably hasn't really played with Mazza at the back before. SBO's back here. Like it might have been from earlier. You beard, man, I have no difference between deluded Arsenal fans saying Saka is better than Messi, and you saying Fernandes is best player in the league. Right, okay. Going after people with beards, that's fine. Anyway, I don't know where this Saka thing's coming from, but Saka better than Messi. I don't know who said that. Maybe someone said that in the chat that I haven't seen.
Okay, thank you for saying what you're saying. Look, let me tell you this, Dan. Look, when you're a Manchester United fan, right? You ate at tables before, right? Whatever food Manchester City is eating right now, right? We've already ate it. We've already prepared it. We've already provided the ingredients for it. We've already given you the guidelines for it. So enjoy your food and sit down and be quiet. We've already been sitting at the table that you're currently sitting on right now. This is nothing new to whatever you're doing now is nothing new to me. You hear me? Like, I've done this before. I can tell you who's better than who. You can't tell me who's better than who. I can name you 5 players from my past that's better than who you have now. You can't name me 5 players from the past. Yeah. Enjoy your food. Welcome to the table. Be humble, eh?
Looking at this, it's looking like there's a beef starting.
Be humble, eh? Be humble, eh?
Be humble. Yeah, it looks like there's a bit of an argument ensuing there in the chats there, and nice too, yeah, so, yeah. I'm not really. I mean, because David's got a beard as well, you see, so I don't really know why people are going after beards. But anyway, SBO, you need to chill out a little bit, SBO.
At the end of the day, Dan is all love. I do love the bench, and I'm not.
Yeah, of course, and it's banter, and obviously he's a Man City fan, but you don't have to go after people that's got beards. I don't know what that's about. It's a bit strange, but anyway, right. We will not let that impact us. So yes, we've had our chat there about Heaven. So yeah, just moving on to the second half really quickly. Again, I thought the second half wasn't too bad in terms of the start of the second half. Today, I didn't expect him to change anything at second half because I didn't think it required that. The only thing I will say is that he did take a bit of time, longer than I thought he should have done, to make his first substitution. I think that's when Mount came on and Xerxes. But other than that, we've got the win, so you can't really say much about that. How did you feel, just really quickly, about the second half in its entirety? How did you feel about it?
I just gotta say I have to leave very soon, but
no, that's fine. That's fine. We're getting towards the end now, anyway.
I thought, when it comes to substitution, right? I feel like this is why Sesko either gotta come off the bench, because if he's not having a good game, and then you're taking him off the field when we need like big bodies in that in the middle of the defending on crosses and so on, it's a little bit difficult for us, right? But I thought he didn't really have to make any substitution, but he did, and thank God that he at least gave Ahmad some playing time. He gave Mount some playing time. Brian Coleman looked like he had a little bit of knock. That's why Zeski came.
Yeah, he looked like he came off injured there, didn't he? Yeah.
So maybe he did. So that's why he made a substitution. But I was happy with the substitution. This I saw him and it was very good. So he didn't really need to, but he did, and that was good. I can't be too critical about him making substitution and him not making substitutions.
Yeah. Okay, so people that are still in the chat, just start to get ready your man of the match, because we're going to come on to that after this quick segment here. So really quickly, it is a little bit small, so apologies for that, but it's just to give us an idea of our sort of last fixtures now towards the end of the season. So obviously we've played Chelsea today anyway, and we've got that win. Then we've got Brentford next at home. We've got Liverpool then after that, which will be a big one. We've got Sunderland, but it's at Sunderland, and they've been quite good at home, Sunderland. And then we've got Forest, who are still going to be battling for that relegation. And then lastly, Brighton. You seem to have Brighton towards the end of the season quite a lot these last few seasons. Normally, Brighton sort of take the foot off the pedal and go on holiday a little bit around that sort of time, so that if we need to win that game for any reason, we should be all right. But hopefully we don't need to win that game that late in the season. Just really quickly looking at those fixtures, have you got any worries? Have you got any concerns about dropping too many points that'll drop us out of that top five? I know we talked about top five already, but does anything concern you there in those last sort of fixtures there, Dash?
Brentford and Sunderland.
Yeah.
And Brighton, if we have to beat them, so that would be very concerning. But before that, I think Brentford and Sunderland, that's going to be a tough match. Liverpool, they're coming to us, so therefore we're always ready for those type of games. So I have no problem with that one. It can go either or. I would accept it. But Brentford, Brentford had our number for the past couple of years, right?
We struggled.
That's why. And how Sunderland is playing, that stadium is always rocking. So that's why I'll pick those two games. I pray that we don't drop any points against those two teams. But I feel like if we can get that 3 point against Brentford and hopefully get a point against Liverpool and then get 3 points against Sunderland, that we solidify.
Because I'm just like really quickly trying to look at that and tot up, and I'm feeling
games are going to be very pivotal for us.
I'm feeling we get at least 8 to 10 points out of those games, but we will see. We will see and see if that's enough. So obviously, conscious of time for both ourselves, we're going to go on to the man of the match now, and then we'll wrap things up after that. I'm just going to check the chat and see if anything is happening other than people arguing. Hopefully that's now chilled out now, if SBO's chilled out a little bit. So man of the match then, I'll let you go first. Who's your man of the match for this game?
Man of the match, I like, of course, Bruno Fernandes, with the assist, but I thought he was the better player on the field today, even despite that Chelsea had all the possession of the ball. Even I want to give a little bit of shout out to Kobe Mino. Like I say, he did exactly what he needed to do. But Bruno Fernandes, for me, is the man of the match. He created the assist. Looked like he could have had more assists, or even had a goal himself too. But I don't think there was any player on the field that was better than Bruno Fernandes today.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Mino, because again, it was a horror show. Leeds, Mino wasn't playing. He's come back in. Played pretty much how he normally plays, quite controlled, quite calm on the ball. Nothing overly enthusiastic, but he played well, I felt, and he has the best combination in midfield is Meno and Casemiro for now. So quite liked Meno. Heaven, got to give a shout out to Heaven as well, because I think he defended well. Obviously, Le Mans for the clean sheet. No, it wasn't just down to him, but he gets a clean sheet. And then moving on to the man of the match itself, it's got to be Bruno for me as well. I may have given it Cunha because of the goal, but as just saw overall, Bruno played pretty well. He was the talisman, as he is. He's the man that was trying to make things happen, and he did make something happen. Funnily enough, I won't share it because of time and stuff, but on FootMob, it's actually giving it to Le Mans, interestingly. So I think some of that's to do with the clean sheet. I mean, I wouldn't be angry at that, but I just think Bruno edged it for me.
Spectacular save today, though, that you would say, okay.
This is the thing. This is the thing. I think more than anything is just the presence in the goal. Okay. He covered a few shots but didn't save them. So it's not like he did a last-ditch save or anything like that, or came rushing off his line. He was just, doing the basics, I suppose. So I wouldn't particularly give it to Le Mans, but I think Bruno deserves that, definitely. And hopefully, as we said before, he will get the record on the assists, and then maybe even get the player of the season. So as SJG saying here, man of the match is Bruno for them as well. And we definitely agree with you there, SJG. So I think that pretty much wraps things up. Just to say towards the end there, again, as always, thank you for people that have been watching. Thank you for most of the comments anyway. Thank you for most of the comments, especially the supportive comments. Not thanking you for the comments around beards and people that have got beards, because I think that's just weird. But all the same, thank you for the support, people. But just to wrap things up in terms of where we're at, obviously it wasn't the best game in the world, but we've won. We've got a clean sheet, which is a positive, and that's always a positive. Just last comment there. Great show, guys, from SJG. Thank you for that. Thank you for the support. Got the win, got the clean sheet, got the points on the board, got those 3 points just to give us that little bit of a cushion. Hopefully Villa drop some points. Hopefully Liverpool drop some points. I think I haven't looked at the running actually against the other teams that are going for the top 5 spots, but I do believe that there's a couple of them that need to play each other. I think Chelsea still need to play Liverpool, I think, as well. And I don't know if Villa need to play one of them as well. So you would imagine that's going to give us a bit more of a cushion again after they play as well. So we should be okay. We're looking good for Champions League, and we're also looking good for even 3rd spot, to be fair. Right. So good win in the sense we needed it, especially after that Leeds game, as I keep saying. We definitely needed that win. Welcomed. Carrick, you can say, he's done his job today. Players have just about done enough. Bruno, we thank you. Hopefully you do get your personal accolade. So Brentford next. I will be doing a preview for that, and obviously live after the game as normal. So, like I said before, please hit that subscribe button for both myself and Dash, and check Dash out on his channels as well. He's doing good stuff there. We're going to hopefully grow together and keep this going. So you'll be back on again, Dash, I'm sure. So just really quickly, just tell people where they can find you, because some people might be new that have come in as well. And then we'll close things down.
How you doing, everybody? You can find me at Dash Ticks on YouTube and also on TikTok. Those are the 2 platforms that I'm really on the most. I talk football, I talk, sports in general. So I just love the game. I just love talking, sports. I love people that love what I love. So go ahead and give me a follow so we can talk sports.
And for those people that probably missed the build-up show, Dash brought out some retro tops. So you'll probably bring them out again. He might even wear one, I don't know. But he had some nice retro number 7 shirts.
For a special occasion, I will wear it for a special occasion.
Special occasion. If we win a cup or something, special occasion. Cantona, Beckham.
David Beckham, I have to, man.
And it's that classic sharp. sponsor, classic sharp sponsor,
man.
Magnificent Sevens, not like Mount, Magnificent Sevens,
Yeah.
the right sevens.
Yes.
But again, full respect to you, Dash, for coming on. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure to do a show with you. Pleasure to chew the fat with you over Manchester United. I'm sure we'll be back on here again, definitely. So thanks again, everybody, for watching Dan Talks United. See you later, people. See you on the next one.
You have a blessed one.